Hello there and welcome back to Carl and Debbie Trains. This is another Cattington update. This is number 53 and we've got some work I've done around the signal box and also some noise prevention. We'll see how that works. See you in a minute. First of all, I want to say thank you for watching the video. I know these videos haven't been coming out very much. I think I say this every time. Just finding the time for these kind of things. But also, thank you for anybody who's ever left a comment, subscribed, or even forwarded these kind of videos on to somebody else. I really appreciate that. The channel is growing very nicely. I hope you enjoy the kind of videos that we're doing here. It's not all Cattington updates, fortunately. We have videos from other galas, like Great Central galas, but also other railways as well. And model railways, we go to see quite a few of them, and I try and upload as many as I can. So thank you all for sticking with us, and we'll see how we do. Right, let's see what I did with the signal box. Right, hello there. So as you can see, I've been putting in my cork on the underlay of the track, and that's all glued down. I've taken the edges off. Then next thing I need to do is glue the track down. And then it occurred to me I need to do a little bit of modelling before I glue the track down, because I've got stuff to go underneath, and this is like a preview of what I've got planned, and hopefully we'll be able to compare it with the bit at the end. So I've got the signal box, and the idea is that I want to have cables coming across to give it, make it look like it's a real thing. So first thing I've done is created this little plateau, which is just cardboard. And that's going to go down just to raise that signal box up. I need to level that off as well. The next thing I'm going to do is I've got little bits of wire that you are not going to see on the camera. And they're going to all go into this other plate, and that plate will sit in front of the signal box with the wire coming over towards the track. And then on the track, or under the track, I'm going to have these conduits. So I need to cut little holes in my cork to put these on, and then the ballast is going to kind of sit on top. So I'm going to have a few of these. And again, these are just bits of cardboard, I think 2, maybe 3 pieces of cardboard all glued together and cut into slices. That'll give you an impression of it taking it underneath the track. And I've got more of these bits of wire that you can just barely make out, that I'm going to put in and just make it look a little bit more functional. So with that in mind, I'll see you in a minute. Okay, here you can see the kind of finished version. It's kind of not as I hoped, but it still does the job. I don't think you can tell on this camera, but you can still make out the wires here. Certainly when you're in the room, the light catches them and they shine, so it gives an indication that it's there. Just letting this bit of cardboard dry, and I might just paint that like a wood texture. I was going to leave it as like a concrete one, but I think if I paint that brown, it will make it stand out away from the ballast here, so that'll be good. I haven't glued this down yet, but that's something I can do later. Move you around to this side. Right, we're in shot. Yep. The other thing is this ladder I've got coming down. So on the original version, okay, it's not going to go back in very well. There you go. The ladder is here, which is fairly okay, but as you can see, it's very close to the line. I'm tempted to turn it so I can make it come out this way instead. It'll make a lot more sense. I don't know if it ever happened in real life, but keeping the people away from the railway line is probably a good idea. So I may just turn that down here. So I need to just break the railings off, put another little plateau up here and bring them down. It's something. Mistakes. I forgot to paint my cork before I glued my track down, which it's not the end of the world kind of problem. It just meant I had to give it a really good covering with the ballast, and there's little gaps here you probably can't tell on camera. I might just need to patch, but you can just see the trunk in here, which I'm fairly happy with. So the next thing I need to do is paint the ballast, so if I do have any gaps it's not going to show through. Not paint the ballast, yeah, paint the cork and then put the ballast on. I'll do that for the rest of the railway. Right, hello there. As you can see, this is a bit of a weird setup. I've just downloaded a sound meter. As you can see, it's recording the noise in here, mostly me. And the idea is here, I'm comparing what the track sounds like with the locos going over it, and then I'm going to do some sound reducing measures, and hopefully I'll see a difference when I come back and do the same test and review the footage. You might be able to see from down here, I've just been running the loco 5 times around the layout, and it's given me a max peak of 100 decibels, which is not high, but I'd like to reduce that. I'm going to just quickly run the train through. You can see where she is at the moment on the far side. She's clocking up about 70, 75, but when she goes past where the camera is here, she's clocking up 80, 90, and that's where I got that 100 from as well. So bear with me on this. Right, I'm not sure about checking, but I was definitely in the 90s, just briefly, certainly in the 80s. Is what I believe is most of the problem is when I put the ballast down. So, if I show you here, this is how I'm doing my cork. So, the cork is glued, and then the track is glued to the cork. This one's not yet. And that's okay, but when you put your ballast in, and you glue that down, your ballast is making this direct connection with the board to the rail. So it's just transferring the sound all the way over, as you can see here. So it's glued directly onto the board, and it's glued into the sleepers as well. So depending on the type of board you have, that's going to cause you some problems. If I show you underneath these boards, I think this is kind of a common design nowadays. It's these kind of lattice works. So this is, I don't know, 6 or 9 mil, I can't remember, board. But basically these are acting as sound chambers, so any vibrations in here are just echoing out and it's just booming out. So I reckon if I pad cardboard in here and pack it all in, it's going to help reduce all of that. And you can see a bit of wiring going off there, and obviously it carries on down here. If I can find a bit of light. There we go. So I'm hoping if I can pad all that out, it should help reduce that noise, and like I said, I can prove it afterwards. So hopefully we can see the result later. Okay, I just want to show you what I'm packing it with. So I've got this corrugated cardboard, which we had for some packing. I think it was the packing for the tables themselves when they arrived. So I've just folded it up tight square, and that should go in each of these little units. I've got a couple in there already, not that you can really tell because they're not very thick and these baseboards are quite deep. Right, I've put my cardboard packing in. I've put it in about 10 cells around these 2 boards we're currently sitting on. I've just run a little test. You can see here it's 94 decibels. So it was 100. So I've took about 6 decibels off, so it's taken the kind of top end off, so it's worth it. It kind of feels better as it's going round, it sounds a little bit better. It's not perfect, I've still got a bit more to do on it, but it's a start. And next I can probably experiment with other bits of cardboard to create different shapes to break down that size. You probably guessed, I'm trying to do this on the cheap. I'm not after any expensive solutions. I just want something just cheap to just reduce that sound, and because I've got cardboard in stock, that's working well for me. So thank you for watching.